Hey everyone, it's Lucas from the Pint Pals Podcast. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok. We also have set up a Patreon if you feel like supporting the show in another way. Again, it is always appreciated but never expected. Let's get on with the show. Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pint Pals Podcast. It is I, Lucas.
My name's Nate.
And today we have another collection of Colorado beers, but all from the same brewery. And I'm going to be repping the hat for. When we were in Colorado and I was looking at breweries to go to, Prost Brewing popped up, and I figured since we do the
Prost rating system.
The Prost rating system that we have here.
You think they stole the idea from us?
I think they did. I think they did.
Very, very much so.
I decided to go with a collection of a six-pack collection of theirs from Prost Brewing out of I believe Loveland again. It's Ft.Collins. Ft.Collins. Excuse me.
I love the
Ft.Collins. That's right.
The simplicity of it. I just like it. It's just very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Kolsch.
These are all.
This is an IPL. This is the Pilsner. it's
their slogan here. It says "Drink
very...
like a German." And when we were in the brewery, the NBA finals were going on, but it still still had that feel of like a German.
So is it like the one that we went to here in Columbus?
No, not as much. Not as much as that, but still.
Were they dressed up in lederhosen?
No, they didn't have that.
Opportunity missed.
Not like in the Hofbrauhaus in Columbus.
Yeah.
But well, I spoke to the bartender. I believe. Oh man, this is a while ago that I have to think about this. I think his name was Bobby, and I spoke to him about the podcast. I spoke to him about beer. I bought some merch and got you a shirt from them. And then
I failed to wear the shirt.
Yeah, I failed to wear the
shirt.
Failed to
wear it.
But we talked about. Well, we were talking about beer. He was he asked where I was from, and I just said I'm from New York, but I come from been living in Columbus, Ohio. And he goes, "Oh, Ohio, have you had Fatheads on the show yet?" And I was like, no, we haven't, but we should definitely try to get Fatheads on the show. And he goes, Headhunter IPA makes it out here every now and again, and he goes nuts for it.
That's crazy because I like just the idea of them. I feel like they're everywhere.
Fatheads,
just because they're they're everywhere in Ohio, but it feels like they should be everywhere in the United States.
Right. I mean, I don't think that they're bigger than Great Lakes Brewing or something like that, but Great Lakes is everywhere, I think, for the most part. I mean, when they came to New York, it was kind of a big deal.
Fair. Huh. Yeah, well, I'm excited for it.
This is going to be a very good episode for you.
Because it's all base beer?
It's all, I say simple beers, but again, I don't mean it as a negative aspect.
No,
but
it's just
these are
the core beer.
Core beers. Very, no adjuncts in this beer and whatnot. So, you ready to start it off?
I'm intrigued. Yes.
We're starting with the Dunkel lager.
I still love the name of Dunkel.
It is German for dark.
Dark.
So,
let's go with this one here.
It is a dark lager.
I mean, to me, it doesn't seem that dark, I guess, but
compared to a lager,
I guess
that's almost like amber in color.
Fair.
All of these beers survived the flight.
I do like that. Yeah, I'm liking the fact that it's got a nice head on it. That I feel like most of the ones we've had on here recently have not had this nice of a head. Okay, so I feel like since we're going through, these very base things, I feel like you should kind of I know we've talked about a couple of them and what they are and kind of maybe the process, but if you don't mind, just tell me a little bit about a Dunkel. Other than it being a darker lager.
A darker lager, and it's going to have almost crusty, bready tasting notes to it. So, and
I love the smell of it.
like caramel sweetness, I think, from the malts. So
Is that what makes it darker?
yes.
Let's dive into it.
It's very good.
It's very good.
I'm not one. Oh man, that's really good.
Yeah.
I don't usually go out of my way for Dunkels. I prefer just the regular the lagers. But I mean, it does have that
It's delicious.
that bready characteristic to it.
Yeah.
I love that a lot. Almost like a whole wheat bread type thing. And it does have a nice little sweetness to it, but
Is this so like? Is just what you put into it is what distinguishes it from a lager, or is there a different process, or is it mostly just what's put into it?
what do you mean?
So like a Dunkel versus a lager.
So
'Cause essentially it's the darker lager, but like what is it that makes it?
So it's they use different malts and stuff like that in the brewing process. This is something that would be excellent for like a nice crisp fall day.
Yes.
Almost like a Marzen lager, like an Oktoberfest beer.
This is one we should be drinking on your porch.
Which we just were for
we just were, but that
previous episode.
That was last week. It definitely wasn't just an hour ago. I like it. I do. I do a joke that I was spoiled with all the adjunct beers, and so
And now
it
you're
is
not
nice
going
to
to
just
be.
have it. I think it was nice when we went to, I don't know what the one, it's very close by to here. It was German based. Do you remember what it was?
What, the 1487 or
Yeah.
82 or something
Yeah,
like that?
it was nice just to have these
Simple
these
beers.
simple beers. So it is nice having this, especially after the beers we've had
Mm-hmm.
in the past couple weeks, but really today.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Kind of cleanse the palate, I guess. But this is excellent. You know what just sucks?
What?
It's like, when's the next time I'm gonna be able to get beer from Prost Brewing? Like,
Fair.
yeah.
I know I think about it a lot for the ones that we really enjoy, but it's clear that we're never gonna get them again. Like there was the Texas ones that were just so good, and I was like, man, I'm probably not gonna see this again for quite some time.
yeah, if we're lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's difficult, but I like this a lot. The thing about it though is like, because I don't have these kinds a lot, I don't know how to like really describe or what. I don't have like a baseline like what I describe it as compared to what I'm used to. So,
well, what does it taste like to you?
I definitely get a lot of that weediness, but then the hoppy taste at the end.
You're getting a hoppy taste on the end?
Yeah, you don't get like the mouthfeel of hops. Is there not hops in it?
No, there is.
Oh, okay.
There is.
Yeah, I get like just like a kind of what you would get from like an IPA, just that hoppy taste at the end. I kind of get that from this. You're not supposed to get that?
I'm not getting that. No,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like afterwards, I get just like a slight of it, but I mean, I do taste that weedy, bready taste that you were talking about.
This
But
is
it's good.
so
It's
good.
crisp. It's just
all of these are going to be
refreshing.
Like crispy boys.
Crispy boys.
I'm very excited for this lineup that we have.
Except for
the Hefeweizen.
For the Hefeweizen.
That's nothing against.
I know, but you don't like Hefeweizens.
I just don't like Hefeweizens.
Is it the banana taste that you said it was? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And all of these ABVs are like pretty much in the same ballpark, I think. Like this one's a 5.6, 5.4.
6.
Yeah, that one's a
4.8.
Yeah.
Around the 5 range. So just like our seltzers.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you ready to give this one a rating?
I am.
Do you want to describe the Prost scale?
Yes, let's describe the Pro Scale, which is an acronym.
It is an acronym,
Not an anagram.
Not an anagram.
So the pro scale is what we use to rate our beers here on the Pint Pals podcast. So the P would be our lowest rating, which is probably won't drink again. R is regrettable. O is optimistic. S is satisfactory. And T is terrific. And in this case here, we like to kind of like, if we pick a letter, we like to also kind of give it a level on that letter. I'm gonna go with a mid S for this.
That is also what I'm gonna give this one. Again, it's not the style that I normally go for, but it definitely checks all the boxes for me. Would I have this? I would probably get this in like a flight. Compared to the other ones that are here, like I know I'm gonna just like some of these other styles better because that's what I like. But this is very good. It has those characteristics of the bread and just like a pleasant sweetness that I'm getting. Are you ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah. So let's move on to this IPL. India Pale Lager. It doesn't really roll off the tongue as IPA.
It's IPA does, yeah.
IPA. I think maybe it's.
Oh man, that
I like
is like crystal clear. Like I can look straight through.
Ooh, I love that smell
Of the hops.
Wow,
yeah, that kind of almost like a vegetal smell.
That's amazing. I also like how much carbonation is still in there for it. All right. Piqued my interest, Prost. You have piqued it. Let's see. Let's do it. Let me get some water first. I want to cleanse my palate.
That is like just
I do. That is a beautiful color. Now let's go for it. I love that.
That is delicious. That is.
I love that.
Crisp.
Wow.
Clean. Very light mouthfeel. I could pound these.
Wow.
Words. I could pound this, even though it's the highest ABV one.
Is it? Oh yeah, it was the 6th one.
Yeah, out of everything that we're having today.
I wouldn't even know that from drinking it, honestly.
This is just.
It's refreshing.
Absolutely. I don't think this is the one that I had. Let me see which ones I had. I was there because I know I made sure to put it in on Untapped.
Like when I think of refreshing beer, this is like just punching me in the face right now. Right, I could have a bunch of these. I mean, right next to the poolside.
Mm-hmm. The like perfect lawnmower beer. Perfect.
This might be a winner over an IPA. So why don't they make IPLs anymore? Why? Like, is there a reason? It's just
there's no reason. It's just like,
very intrigued. Now, honestly, I don't know if we've ever had this conversation before, and this whole podcast is me trying to learn stuff. But
I have not had this one.
You haven't had this one before?
No, I haven't. I've only had the Vienna Lager and the Kolsch, which are
okay,
two of my favorite styles of beer. So
fair.
No, it's not picking it up at all.
No, when we talk though, I'll hear it. So lagers versus ales, what is the biggest difference between those? I know it's been a while since we've talked about basic stuff, but I don't know if we've ever had a distinction between what defines a lager versus what defines a ale, per se. I think we just had so many ales. I don't think we've had a lot of lagers. I'm trying to think back to all those, and this is where I wish I had just like a giant list of all the beers we ever had.
So the biggest, I just Googled it because
that's fair. I don't expect you to know everything. That's fine. I know lagers
that
are
is
a lot
something
less
I should
popular.
know.
I mean, lagers are so much
What are
less
you talking
popular.
about?
I don't feel like I see lagers as much as I do IPAs though.
Are you-
Ales. Would you disagree with that?
Absolutely.
Really?
All of like the macro ones are pretty much lagers.
Oh, well, macros though. But I'm talking about craft beer.
Oh, you're talking about okay, then okay.
Oh yeah, I was talking about craft beer.
So the difference is how they are fermented. Ales are fermented with top fermenting yeast at warm temperatures, and lager. I knew this about lagers. Lagers are fermented with bottom fermenting yeast at cold temperatures because what lagering a beer is keeping it cold, below 50 degrees.
So it really does have to do with the temperature that you do it when you ferment it.
Yes.
Huh. What's the difference between bottom and top? I noticed that was a common.
Just where the fermentation happens, like the top or the bottom.
Is it a special machine that does that, or is it
It's just the yeast.
how these does it?
I think because of what do they call it, buoyancy?
Buoyancy. It is.
It's
Its ability to float on water. Yeah. Oh, let's see. My science does reach out.
Yeah.
To its limitations. Wow. I'm trying to withhold drinking most of this because we have the smaller cans, so there's a lot less, which is unfortunate. But this is very delicious. Are these the only cans you got from them? You didn't. It wasn't
these are all I have.
They were all singles.
No.
Oh.
I bought them, but they did give me a mix and match 6-pack.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. This is really good.
It's an excellent crispy boy.
It is. It's honestly, and I know this is
like I'm saving this. I'm saving this for the.
Yeah, I know. I'm saving it too. It makes me think a lot of, and this is probably not a good comparison because I'm trying to think of what type of beer this is. But the Scrimshaw,
that's a Pilsner.
That's a Pilsner. Just the crispiness of that.
Makes me
think of the crispiness of this.
Yeah.
It makes me think just nice, smooth crispiness. That's what I was thinking of.
Gotcha. Are you ready to give this one a rating?
Man. I gotta go with a T for it.
I'm also going to give it a T.
I'm going to go for a T. Yeah.
It is refreshing. It is clean, crisp, pleasant hoppiness. And, I mean, it doesn't feel like a 6%. I feel like I can have a whole bunch of those and still be fine. It just drinks so smooth, and it's just clean, crisp.
Do you know any places that do IPLs? No, that's why it's so mind-blowing. I've never seen it.
I've had a couple. I can't think of any.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I've had a couple.
Yeah.
Maybe Arlen's does one.
That would be the one I would think of if it was a place. I don't remember seeing one when we were there, but
yeah, but that doesn't mean that they haven't done it.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Are you ready to move on to the Vienna Lager?
I don't know, man. My mind's still on that one right now.
So Vienna Lagers are one of my favorite styles of beer.
What makes it Vienna sausages? They put little Vienna sausages in there.
Absolutely not.
Nope. Okay.
Absolutely not.
It was worth a shot. I don't know what else you use those things for.
It has. Oh God, I used to live with somebody in college who
would eat them from the can. Really?
Yeah. I did it once just because I was like, oh, he's doing
just
it. You
wondering.
know, he must know something.
I guess, dude. I don't understand what Vienna sausages are for other than a meme. I can't think of what else they would be for.
So the story of the Vienna Lager. When beer came to that area, they were trying to brew it a certain way, but the water wouldn't let them do it. So they had to tweak the other parts of the recipe, and that's why the Vienna Lagers have a maltier sweetness compared to German counterparts. It's because of the different waters.
So how do they do it here? How do they capture that same kind of aspect with this then?
Just, the malt.
Oh, okay.
Because, look at this lager that we just had.
Yeah. But also, I mean, compared to, I mean, I guess the Dunkel.
The Dunkel. I mean, see how it's not as dark as the Dunkel?
Fair. My glass isn't the best to see that. I've got a big ass label on mine, but look at yours, yeah.
Like I could still see through this beer, and it's just, God, I just love that maltiness that a Vienna Lager has, and I have had this one before. This is I've had two, this one and the Kolsch at the brewery.
I'm really intrigued. Like the Dunkel's head lasted a lot longer, but these ones are really going down a lot more. Is that just
I don't know.
Maybe it's because you poured it.
Yeah, that could be.
Let's go for it.
This is one of my, like, this is usually what I drink in the fall.
I really love this aftertaste in my mouth.
It's a little bit heavier than just a regular lager or a pilsner. I say that, but then like when it comes to Thanksgiving, I have Scrimshaw Pilsner with turkey because
wow. I like it. I'm just trying to pinpoint why. I know I've said this about the other ones because they all have been pretty smooth, but this one, man, I don't know, how do you describe it? Maybe that'll kind of help me picture.
What do you
How
mean?
would you describe this beer?
So it's like, I guess probably, I don't know, like a cousin to the Dunkel almost is probably how I would describe it. It does have some of that bready characteristic to it, but it's not heavy like a Dunkel is, but it does have the that malty sweetness that I guess both of them have.
Yep. I wanted to go back and try the Dunkel real quick, but yeah. I feel like the Dunkel is richer.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, yeah, I still get that same kind of idea, but
the Dunkel is probably has more of the bready characteristics, and I think the Vienna has more of that malty sweetness characteristic.
If I would just compare the two, I think I would go with this one over the Dunkel, but that's good. I'm gonna give that one a rating. It's a T.
I am also going to give it a T. Yeah,
good.
I couldn't get enough of it when I was at the brewery.
I can't imagine on tap.
I say that, but I only had one pint. It was delicious.
Yeah, I mean,
it was delicious, especially after. So we went there. Alexis and I had been hiking that day, and when we got there, let's just say it's very much needed after the hike that we had.
That's the best part is when you have a hike that ends in something like this.
Yeah.
We had that same thing up in Michigan. It was a 4-mile hike, and I was like, I'm gonna need beer after that. So
this was a hike like just straight up a mountain, and it was just like a pain
incline, no matter how far, as long as you got incline,
and
it fucks you.
And just the change in altitude from already being that high to going higher, and we were just like, it was so bad. It was so bad.
I'm just very impressed so far by all these. So, okay. Let's just talk beer. The word beer.
Okay.
So does beer, I mean, like, originate? Where does beer originate?
What do you mean? Where does beer originate?
So, like, my thought, and it may sound stupid, and I apologize, but like, these are all German style beers, so they have a lot of different style of beers. So what?
Well, Vienna's not.
Okay, well, minus that. Like, most of the time, I think, like, when I see all these different types of beers, because these are more common ones, like the Pilsner and Lager.
Here, this might answer it for you. The word beer comes from Old Germanic languages and is with variations used in continental Germanic languages. Beer, B-I-E-R, in German and Dutch, but not Nordic languages. The word is imported into the British Isles by tribes such as the Saxons. It is disputed where the word originally comes from.
I mean, is it pretty safe to say that, like, beer kind of originates from Germany?
I will find out.
I mean, I just think of, like, they have all these different types of beer, and, like, the only other beers outside of what I see them here are just, like, sours, ales, and
Ancient Mesopotamia.
Oh, okay.
People were no doubt imbibing in much earlier. Hard evidence and beer production dates back about 5,000 years to the Sumerians of ancient Mesopotamia.
I guess a better question would be, like, who refined it, who made it like what it is today. I guess because, like, I mean, then it was probably just something that was just.
Well, I mean,
we don't have to talk about it, but I just
no. We can talk about it. We can talk about it.
That's the thing that, like, Germany has, like, all these different, like,
that's
well-known kinds.
I mean, that's what they're known for,
and they're the ones that came up with it. So, like, what?
Well, I mean, that's fair to say. Germany is fair to say because when German immigrants would come over here, that's like, I mean, just look at, like, Budweiser. It came from Budvar, which is like the German equivalent to that.
Yeah.
So, like, all of these German brewers, when they came over here,
That's a hard word.
Brewers. Yeah. When they came over here, they brought their brewing beer and, traditions with them and techniques. So, I mean, if you were to look at most of the macro stuff, like Miller Lite, Pilsner.
That's what I mean.
Bud
Like, it's
Light,
like
a light lager, Budweiser, a lager.
So my suspicions were, I mean, like, be accurate by that, because, like, when I think of beers, I think of these main things, like the Pilsner and the lager. Obviously not so much because this isn't as popular anymore, but, like, they all stem from Germany. So that was my
No.
I thought, like,
that's totally fair to think, but
I don't want to just assume that Germany is, like,
there's
the main staple of beer, but at the same time, I feel like they've come up with the most different varieties of it.
That's, I guess, fair to say, because the English have their own different styles of beer. The French have, like, the saisons, but I mean, like, the French, like, saison and, like, these farmhouse ales were accidentally made. Like, it was like,
if it's accidentally made, though, I don't feel like that's fair to count in there, though.
I mean, I think that the first ones were accidentally made. I mean, all of these,
like, if it's made,
well,
they are trial and error. Trial and error is different than, like, you were doing something, you realize, oh, this is this, but you weren't trying to get that. Whereas this, they're trying to get a beer, but a different style of it. So,
and
I think that's a whole.
I think a lot of this stuff also
discussion,
has to, back in the day, they didn't exactly have
You're old. You're old when you say that.
shipping lanes like there are now. So, if you set up in a town and you wanted to brew beer, you'd have to work with what you got. And that's why, like, the water in one place is going to, the beer is going to taste different than in another place. And
that's true.
We only grow this type of grain in this area, so we have to use this type of grain.
Yeah. Well, so then, I mean, it also still stands. They've got this wide variety of different types as compared. I couldn't tell you. I mean, you said saison for France, right? And
well, the French and the English have their own. I mean, we have our own.
I just don't. I mean, what would you define as a type of beer for, like, Americans? Style, like, what would it be?
What do you mean,
like so that
we have the East Coast.
These
IPAs.
are all Germans.
We
okay,
have
so
the
like
West Coast IPAs.
Well,
we have
IPA. Where does IPA?
IPA is India
from?
Pale Ale. When the English were sending beer to their troops in India, it would arrive flat. So what they did is they put
India get that credit for
that. India should get the credit for it, but they got the credit because they were colonized by the English at that time.
Fair. So I didn't know if there was, like, I mean, do sours count as American?
No.
What about stouts? Who would get that credit?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I wasn't there.
You weren't there. I need a time machine.
Okay,
right now.
let's Google this. Let's Google this right here.
Where did stouts?
Where was the first stout?
I can't imagine you get anything good from just
London, England. It says.
Okay, so England gets the credit. So we still don't really get any credit for a style of beer yet.
It's
I mean, I guess
the history of the stout. The name has become
for a
associated with
base
dark
style
beer
is what I
instead of
mean,
the-
because there are variants of a style, which would be the IPA.
Yeah. But I mean, you're like, what is it like the American beer? Is that what you mean? Like
Yeah, like, is
like
there...
the light lager has become quite American.
But a lager itself is still German.
What is the most American beer? I don't know. I mean, like we have American amber ales. Wow, the 25
That's
most
not
important
gonna be
American
listed
beers
good.
of all time. Number
Anyway.
one, Budweiser.
Does it make sense when I'm asking though? Like,
It
like these are all like a style of beer, and then you make variations from it.
Yes.
Is there a base style of beer that America came up with that people have then made variants from? I guess is my kind of like thought, because like, yeah, sure, we've made variants from lagers, but that originated from Germany. So is there? And you don't have to have an answer for me. That's just that
don't
can be
know.
homework.
Probably
Could be
say
homework for the next time.
I'd
But
probably say an amber.
amber ales.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't. I
That's fine. You don't
I
have to
don't
know.
know.
I just something that like
because
boggled my mind.
the sours, we can't take credit for the sours if you're going that way because of like the French saisons and the farmhouse ales and stuff like that.
That's
Like
true.
that was funky and sour and stuff.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, they named it that though. Whereas like sour, where does that word come from? Does it come from another country?
I drink beer and I work at a brewery, Nate. I don't know what you want from me.
They don't have a history 101 for brewers.
No.
All right, we can move from this, but I just
Thank
something
God.
that I just think about every time I'm at a German brewery, like, and I see all these very well known styles.
Next time we go to Hofbrauhaus, you can interrogate our server.
server. So tell me. Oh man, I feel bad for that person.
I'm killing this Vienna longer.
I'm gonna save it. I went and killed his uncle there. All right, so we are moving on here. Did we rate that one?
No, we didn't.
We went on such a tangent. I apologize. Well, yeah, we did because we gave it a. No, I gave the IPL a T.
I'm giving the Vienna lager a T. It's as of right now, it is my favorite beer from Prost.
I'll go with the T as well. A low T. I think a little bit lower than what the IPL was, but
I think you're probably gonna like. So the next one we're doing is the Pilsner, and you're probably
I
gonna like.
enjoy Pilsners.
Yeah, you do. You drink Miller Lite.
I don't want Miller Lite.
I have to use my Pilsner glass.
Of course. Didn't provide one for me though, so
I got this glass for free, so.
I don't know if we've had this conversation before either. Does the shape of the glass actually matter for a beer?
Nate, you're the reason why I drink. Yes, it matters to an extent. It
Is it just to help with like the carbonation?
the carbonation.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
blah.
It just
And also, you don't want to put a 13% stout in a pint glass.
sometimes you just I mean, I understand like the amount that's coming out of the mouth of it when you're drinking it, but like it's good to have a little refresher. It's been a while since I've asked that question.
The way that it aerates and stuff like that, I don't fucking know.
I'm intrigued. I want to know the science. Like that's a whole different science than having just making beer. And I'm just so intrigued by that. I like science. I watched a lot of Bill Nye when I was growing up.
Yeah, I'd like to see Bill Nye do a beer class.
That would actually be pretty interesting. You think maybe we can get him to come on one of our shows?
Yeah, I think Bill Nye will come onto our show.
Why not? This is all science. That's what it is. Do you guys use the scientific method when brewing your
what?
beers?
I don't know. I don't brew any beers. I didn't use it when I made beer in my kitchen.
Just threw it in there and went for it.
I mean, isn't the scientific method just like a recipe, essentially?
You come up with an idea, you make a hypothesis, then you test it out, and then you can...
Yeah. So like a beer recipe.
You guess what it's going to be like, and then you try it, and then see if that held up to
That's
your
what we'll do.
hypothesis.
That's what we'll do right here. We'll do it right now. Let me open up Beersmith.
Is that what Beersmith is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, that's exactly what it would
What's this
be.
fucking say right here?
Activate your copy. Do you have a fake copy here?
I have 15 days remaining. What's it say?
Continue trial mode.
Yeah.
This looks like an email format.
Dude, this program is so old.
Oh my gosh, it's from the 90s?
Yeah, probably.
What?
Let's add a recipe to it.
So this is what you've been using for your recipes that you're coming up with? Okay.
Yeah.
I always wondered how you like figure out what is a good ratio, but like,
well, I base it
at
off
the
of
same time,
recipes that I
there's-
find online.
fair. Huh. I like that. That's interesting.
Well,
I didn't
it's
know it was a
really
red
cool.
light.
So here's the thing. Let's just pick. Let's just go with the amber ale.
Computer says no.
Add a fermentable.
Computer
Thank
really
you.
does not like you.
Yeah, I know. I get too excited. So we go with the amber malt here. And then let's just say, so it's we're going with an amber ale. It's a 5-gallon batch. Let's go with 8 pounds of the malt. And then over here is what the color of the beer should be.
Of what it should be.
Yeah. And that's what
So
it's
this is
gonna
all
look like with
hypothetical.
just-
Yeah, so this is all
this is what it's
hypothetical
gonna look
stuff.
like
So,
now.
yeah.
So
This is the scientific method here.
yeah.
You're making hypothetical. Okay, yeah.
Are you ready to give the
Now we've gone on a really long tangent. Yeah.
after that?
A Pilsner?
Yeah.
Definitely smells like a Pilsner.
It does smell like a Pilsner. But it does not smell like Scrimshaw. That's a Pilsner.
Hmm. I don't think I'm a fan.
Really?
Yeah.
This is something that I would pair with a large meal, like I would with any of the other Pilsners that I've had.
So I love Scrimshaw. Yeah, I would say I like Miller Lite, but I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not comparing it to either of them, but just right now in this moment,
Does
not
one
really.
enjoy Miller Lite? Or does
Miller Lite just gets me drunk. I don't care what it tastes like.
all of these beers will get you drunk?
Yeah, but I drink Miller Lite not for the taste. I drink it to get drunk.
You want
This I would drink
you okay?
for the taste.
You okay? You want to
Wanna
talk about it?
it?
All right, bud.
Oh, these weeks are long, man. These weeks are long.
Yeah, hey, here's to you being back in school.
Yay.
It's very light, very easy drinking.
I think to me, it's just the aftertaste is much different than I'm used to.
Yeah. It's
Like initially, it's pretty good, but then afterwards, I'm just kind of like, I don't really want that taste lingering in my mouth.
I don't know. I enjoy this. I don't enjoy it as much as the other ones, but
Yeah, it's okay. I might give it. Honestly, I'm probably good to rate it.
okay. What do you want to give it? I'm gonna give it a low S. It's if I was offered this, I would gladly take it. Like it's not a style that I prefer.
Yeah.
It does have that little bit of a. I get what you're saying with the aftertaste. Like you don't want to be tasting that all day.
Yeah.
Like I agree with you on that.
I don't
But
remember that.
it's very very light, very easy drinking, enjoyable. A hot summer day, I would enjoy this beer. I
Fair.
would if I was at the store and I saw a 6-pack of it. Would I get it? No. Would I get on like one of the other beer? Would I if it was sitting next to a 6-pack of the Vienna Lager? I'm getting the Vienna Lager 10 out of 10 times. I'm getting the IPL 10 out of 10 times. Getting the IPL. With the Dunkel though, I'd probably go 50-50. Like if that's what I came across.
I think I would still pick the Dunkel over this.
Really?
Yeah.
I really thought you were gonna like this one. That's why
Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's terrible. I think the aftertaste is what's getting me because from the other pilsners that I've had, I don't have this kind of taste lingering in my mouth.
No, I get what you're saying.
I still do. I do understand the pilsner taste. I get that. It's gonna sound crappy, but I honestly, I'm between like a really high O or a really low S. I'm really on the fence with it. I'll I'll go with a really low S. I'll go with a really low S for it. I think everything you're saying was spot on. It's just that aftertaste for me. It's not something I want lingering on. If I were to finish with this, I would not be happy. But if I were to start with this, I think I'd be okay and drink something else.
Mm-hmm.
I would be okay.
I think pilsners are excellent to pair with. Like I mean, I guess that's why I get the scrimshaw for Thanksgiving.
It was a great pairing when last year when we talked about the scrimshaw, and I'm looking forward to doing scrimshaw again. Hopefully,
yeah. It's it doesn't take away from it, and it doesn't, I guess, fill you up as much as like if I were to drink,
I feel like
Budweiser
this one
with Thanksgiving, I'd only have like 1 or 2 beers, and I'm like, I can't eat anymore.
Yeah, I feel like this one itself would take a little bit away from it.
This definitely has more of, I guess, a taste to it.
Yeah.
Then
that's it. I don't want my pilsners to taste like anything.
I don't want my beer to taste like beer. It's no, but I get what you're saying. Are you ready to move on to the next one?
Question is, are you ready to move on?
I am
to
not.
The next one.
Nope, not at all.
Hefeweizen.
Look at my other glasses. Let me just bring
what
them
a
down.
name. I'm actually curious about what does that word actually mean? Hefeweizen. I know. You're like, damn, you're gonna make me open a tab to look this up.
See, we don't usually have the internet going when we record.
Yeah, no. Lucas usually does all this from his memory.
Yeah,
but this one's got a lot going on, and it's very old school. I feel like it's understandable for sure.
So the Hefe refers to the yeast part of it, which gives it a cloudy appearance, and the Weizen. I knew Weizen was German for wheat.
Wheat, okay.
So like the Dunkelweizen is the dark wheat beer.
Huh. So why isn't it Hefe lager for Dunkels?
What? The fuck did you
or
say?
Hefe? Why isn't it Hefe Dunkel for because then that is a dark lager, or Hefe lager for Dunkel? No. Okay, we'll move on.
It just said that Hefe gives it the cloudy, like they call it that because of the cloudy color.
Oh, they said it was the dark color.
No, the Dunkel is dark.
The Dunkel is dark. No, I thought you said the Hefe was dark.
I did not.
Wow.
I
heard stuff. I heard stuff. Dude, we've had too much beer. We've had too much beer today.
Dunkel starts with a D. So it is dark.
So what is H? It starts with an H. So
H starts
but it's
for
not cloudy.
Hella cloudy.
Hella cloudy. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start taking applications because Lucas is gonna fire me soon.
You're done.
Lucas is gonna fire me
finish
soon.
this one and pack your shit. You can take a little bit more.
No, sir. I know how much I also don't like these. I don't hate them as much as you do, but I also don't like the smell.
Don't use the word hate because I'm gonna post this in the Colorado beer group that I'm in, and I like Hefe. I don't like Hefe.
You don't.
I don't. I can't.
Okay, hate was a strong word. I get that. I use it just generically for everything. I don't use it as strong as most people
not
do.
Not for me. It's
not a fan of it. But also, you weren't a fan of farmhouse ales, but then you did find one that you did like, which was the New Glarus.
Yeah, because New Glarus.
So I mean, maybe, but this is Prost.
Which, by the way,
which,
by the way, I don't know if they took care of their shit, but they had a problem with their shareholders.
Really, New Glarus did?
Yeah.
Was it something that they did, or was it?
They were from what I read, apparently the owner and some of the stockholders believe that they weren't. Some of the shareholders believe that they weren't. They were supposed to get kickbacks basically for investing, and they believe that they were getting the same amount each year, and it's like. That's really weird. The success of your brewery, and it's like
I am surprised.
You get what I'm
that-
saying?
Yeah, I am surprised that New Glarus still only sticks to Wisconsin.
That's their thing.
I guess their thing, but like as a shareholder, I mean,
What
as
did
an
you want?
investor,
Yeah,
I would want you to continue to get bigger and bigger
Yeah.
because it means more money for you. And so I don't know if that's fully what the issue would be, but
I don't think it is because I think like that's their thing.
if you're an investor, that's what you expect, then sure. But if I were to be an investor, I would expect you to continue to make more and more money. I know that sounds greedy, but it's part of
if
the
I was
investment.
driving to Wisconsin, I'm picking up 2 cases of New Glarus to come home with.
Yeah,
Like you see what
it does make it rare. It does make it more a high commodity.
I was in my beer groups and they were like, I'm going to Wisconsin in the next couple of weeks. If anybody wants me to pick up New Glarus, here's my Venmo type thing.
If you're good at advertising and making it known that, but honestly, like I didn't know about them until you told me about them. So like,
well, yeah, you also didn't know a lot about beer.
Don't know a lot about beer, so that's fair.
You.
So like, it just depends how good you are at really advertising and social media and that stuff out. So then people will think, oh, I gotta go here to get it. It's a high commodity.
Yeah,
gotta go to get it. In that case, then yes, you're a bit more successful, but still, it only works to a certain extent. Anyway, this isn't about logistics. This is about beer. Let's go. I don't like the smell of Hefeweizens. There has been some that have been like, okay, you know what? Like tasting wise, I enjoy, but for the most part, I'm a little bit underneath you with these. And
here's the thing.
Oh boy, here we go.
I just smelled it, and it smells exactly like a Hefeweizen should.
Fair. Well, it means it's the Hefeweizen.
I'm gonna taste this beer. Prost Brewing, if you're listening to this, I want you to know this is not about you. I do not like Hefeweizens.
He's against the system.
I am the Hefeweizen system. I'm against it. I'm gonna take a sip, and if I have a facial reaction to it, it's only because I dislike Hefeweizen. I just God.
But everyone has their own preference. There might be a person just like you that doesn't like Pilsners and feels the same way about Hefeweizen. So it's totally fair. You can't please everyone, right? I personally do not love the smell of these. They're awful. Terrible smell, not what I expect to be from beer. But let's just stop smelling it, sir. Stop setting your mind up for it. Take a drink of water, don't smell it, and then we'll drink. All right, that's what we'll do.
Okay.
It's like taking shots of tequila. You got to prepare yourself and get ready for it. All right, here we go. Don't sniff. Just go. 3, 2, 1.
Yep, that's a Hefeweizen.
I think the thing that throws me off the most about these is that the taste is not what I get from the smell, essentially. It tastes kind of like surprises me. I don't hate it. I don't strongly dislike it. I think it's...
I don't dislike it
doable.
as much as I dislike other Hefeweizens.
I think it's very doable.
That banana flavor is still there a little bit.
It is a little bit.
It definitely has more of almost like a spiciness to it.
Spiciness?
Here, let me...
Spiciness in beer. Why is it spicy?
Go away.
I don't know. I don't get spicy. I don't know. I was think it's weird that when you get these kind of beers, people just get a like ASMR of me just tasting stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't hate it. I also don't strongly dislike it.
I think I meant like spiciness, like with the clove.
Okay.
I just
fair.
I don't know. I just Hefeweizens ain't for me.
No, I would agree they're not for me. I don't think I dislike them as much as you do, but they're definitely like they would be the lowest on my totem pole of beers to drink.
Like when he handed me the 6-pack and I saw one of the cans of the Hefeweizen, I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's
And it's just been
I love
staring at me.
the defeat in your voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, Hefeweizen's, German beer, definitely, but
I'm curious, like, who made it though and thought like, yes,
this was a
this
good
is
idea.
good.
This
This is good.
is good. Must give it to others.
Let's share my findings with others. It is. I'm curious, like, how that came about because honestly, I wouldn't imagine this being a beer.
What do you mean you won't imagine it being a beer?
Like, because I don't know, the other ones just are good, I guess, as compared to this. So that was poor wording. I think it's just ooh. I think I got what you were talking about, the sour or the
Spiciness?
spiciness. I just got it right in the back of my throat.
Yeah. It's not like spicy in like the same way as like a jalapeno would be
No,
spicy.
no.
Like heat.
I kind of let it just go right down my tongue, right in the back of my throat, and it kind of hit me a little bit. Yeah. Just not for us.
I don't want to give it a rating.
Honestly, I'm fine with that. I was just gonna say,
I don't want to give it a rating because I don't want to. Because I would
Totally
be like,
fair.
yeah, I'm gonna give it a P because I hate that style type thing. I just don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that.
No, that's totally fair.
But
I'll do the same just because I'm not fond of them either. Again, I don't hate them. I don't dislike them as much as you do. But
yeah. Let's dive into the last beer we have here from Prost, which is my Kolsch.
Kolsch's.
Did you just say you love Kolsch's?
Yeah,
Huh.
I do. I think ever since we had it from, was it North High?
Oh, maybe, I don't know. I drink a lot of beer here.
We drink a lot of beer.
Look at that. Look at that.
I got this dinky little glass here.
Wow, and I got my Augustine mug.
This one also had a head. I also poured
This
it really
is-
badly. I poured
you're
it
fine.
very, very poorly.
This is awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
it
these
was
are one of my
North High.
favorite.
Because they gave it to us in a growler.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I remember this.
I just love how bright Kolsch's are and just easy drinking. How you I could probably have 3 or 4 of these and be totally fine to drive home.
I
Like,
mean,
it's
to me, like, just from the Kolsch's I've had, they seem like
it is the
like, out
beer
of
for
all
people who like
beer.
beer.
Like, that's what it screams like. This is beer.
This
Like,
is beer.
if I were to describe, like, to somebody what is beer, this is what I would give
I would
them.
give them a Kolsch.
Like, it's just well-rounded.
Are you ready?
Give me 1 second. So my glass, I don't think I could get past the head here. Give me 1 second. Sorry, mine's still fizzling out. Doesn't work. Have you ever know the technique with like sodas, where if you ever done this, when you get a big head on soda, because you're pouring in,
I wouldn't call it a head, but yeah.
or you get a lot of foam from soda when you're pouring it in. Just listen, all right? When you do that, if you take your finger, you just rub it against your forehead, and you stick it into the foam just instantly disappears.
That's fucking gross.
Who cares? It's your body. My body, my rules.
I'm gonna take a shit and not wash my hands after wiping my ass.
I'm sorry. I also didn't do that. My hands are clean when I do it. All right.
Your hands aren't clean. You're rubbing your sweaty, oily forehead
Technically, you don't even have to do it. It's the saltiness. It's my
from
body.
the sweat and the oils.
It's my body. It's my body naturally
Do
produces.
you wash
that.
your hands after you wipe your ass?
Yes.
And then what? Do you like? No, fuck it. I'm gonna go eat a sandwich now.
We're not talking about the sandwich. We're talking about the soda. I'm sitting at home. I have a 2-liter soda. I pour it in there. It's got a lot of fizz.
Oh,
but
let me
like,
wipe
I'm like,
my
hold on.
forehead, stick my finger in my drink.
Doesn't matter. You're drinking
hands
pop.
are disgusting.
You're already drinking pop.
Your
That's
hands are
disgusting either way.
Your hands are disgusting, and you're drinking soda.
Anyway.
It's not the 1950s. Nobody drinks.
My head is
pop
gone.
anymore.
Let's just go. God.
Just love this beer.
I think I still had a little bit of the taste from the Hefeweizen, I realized. The Hefeweizen really sticks in you. That's good. Yeah, I stand by this just being beer.
Clean, crisp, easy drinking.
Sorry for the long thought process. I'm literally in heaven just thinking about it. Like I'm just sitting here like it's good. And
I'm really glad we were able to do this episode.
Yeah.
Because it is a huge change of pace from what we've been doing on the show.
Very much so. No adjunct.
And just a huge change of pace for what you have had.
Yeah.
I mean, I like doing all the adjunct and the fun beers. I think that
that's the craft side of it. That's the strong craft side because these are still craft, but like that's the strong craft side.
And it's just nice to go back to like roots, basically.
That's what I think when we went to that brewery, that German brewery. It was nice to just drink very basic, simple beers.
Yeah. God, I want to go back there. They've got some really good food.
There was good food. This has been fun. I mean, all podcasts are fun because I get to be with you, obviously.
Don't blame me.
But like, I don't know. These beers have just been
delicious.
Yes, they're just so clean, crisp.
Except for the Hefeweizen.
It is weird because the Hefeweizen obviously like sticks out like a sore thumb compared
to all of these other ones. Beers. The Hefeweizen does stick out.
Sticks out.
Which again, I feel bad because like I've thoroughly enjoyed all of it. Like all of the beers that I've had tonight have been S or T's. But it's just
totally fair not to rank it.
It's like driving on a highway and then all of a sudden there's a pothole. And then you're like, oh fuck, oh okay, I'm fine.
Oh yeah, no, I was good. It's happened too many times.
And that's how I explain the Hefeweizen.
It's a great explanation. I like that.
I don't know. So. You ready to give this a rating or?
I am. I'm gonna go with the T.
I'm also gonna go with the T. This is excellent. Excellent. And I'm upset. I'm probably gonna have to go back to my Kolsch staple, which is the Golfo Kolsch, because for everybody else who's not a Colorado listener, it's one of the easier ones to get.
Who is it that makes it?
Golfo. It's I'm sure I'm butchering it. It's a.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, you have. You just.
Is it the one that's in the import?
Yeah.
Section. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
I
can even, I think, imagine it in my head right now.
Okay. Oh god.
Yeah, is it a gaggle?
See, it's like the first thing that pops up when you type in Golfo.
Yeah, picture.
Let's see. Is it? Nope.
Thank you, Google. You failed me.
But yeah.
Oh, maybe I haven't seen that. But okay, now that you say it's in the import though, I would understand. I don't normally look at the imports section when I'm in a store, so that's probably why.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like one of my go-tos.
Huh. I say when we had Arlen's, theirs was really good too.
Yeah.
I really.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they do a lot of the traditional brewing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, this is so good. This is a really good episode. I'm really glad that we were able to do this.
Yeah, I'm
really glad I also stumbled across his brewery in Colorado.
So you had never even heard of them?
Never even heard of him. Never even heard of him.
They saw Prost, like, oh my god, stop the car.
Yeah, I gotta.
Gotta go.
I was on Google and I was like, breweries in my area.
Fair.
And it was like the fifth one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh well, can't go to New Belgium. Let's go to Prost. And I told him about the whole Prost rating and all that. So.
What was their thoughts on that? Did they say anything about that? They gonna try to steal it from us?
No, I don't think so. Gotta trademark it.
Yeah, I know. We need to get on that fast stat.
All right, are you ready to do the beers of the night?
Yeah, I've got I've got a lot left over just because of
Yeah.
the Cheers thing. Like I want them to be on the Cheers, so minus the Hefeweizen, which I don't.
Yeah,
nothing
put that
against
far away.
Prost. I just don't think I'm gonna finish it. Okay, so with our beers of the night, we rank our beers that we just had in this session from the lowest to the highest. So they're also not based off of what our Prost score was for them. So in this case, I am gonna go with a Hefeweizen. I don't even know if we include it because technically we didn't even give it a rating either. So
I wasn't gonna include it. I
would just because it's out of the session.
Oh, okay.
And
But out of the session, then I would say, yeah, my
so
least
the
favorite beer of the
Hefeweizen.
night would be the Hefeweizen.
I think it would be very clear.
I just don't like that style.
Yeah.
So
my fifth one, I was trying to do quick math in my head. I don't know why. It would be the Pilsner.
my fifth one is going to be the Pilsner as well.
I pretty much.
I just love the other one so much more.
Yeah, that would be a very big reason. I think also the aftertaste for that Pilsner was just kind of not a killer for me, but kind of the tipping there. I think my next one will be the Dunkel.
My next one is also the Dunkel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know our next ones won't be the same, but yeah, I think the Dunkel was still really good. I finished it first, but I think my third one beat it out, which would be the Kolsch.
My third one is also the Kolsch.
Oh my gosh.
What's your number two? I think we're the same across the board now at this point.
I don't think the number twos are the same because number
Okay.
two will be the Vienna Lager.
My number two is the Vienna Lager.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I actually did not see that coming. All right.
And my number
That
one
surprised me.
and your number one
I'll be the
is
IPL.
the IPL. It was absolutely delicious.
It was.
And I kind of regret not getting it on tap. I don't even know if it was available on tap at that time, but
I mean, honestly, if I see the word IPL now that I know what an IPL is, but like if I had seen it before, I probably would have been like, yeah.
and it'd be like the Kolsch and Vienna Lager, two of my favorite styles of beer. It probably is because of that wow factor of like you don't see IPLs a lot anymore, and I don't know. It was just absolutely delicious, and it was a nice change of pace to be able to have an IPL that, I mean, honestly, was just outstanding. Like, this is it right here, and I do not want it to end.
I mean, my eyes definitely be open for more IPLs now in the future, knowing what they are now and that they exist. I have my minds for the cheers. I'm saving it for the
All right.
for the cheers.
Are you ready to move on to the cheers?
Yeah, I'm just putting them in order so I remember what they were. But yes, let's move on to the cheers here.
All right. What's your first cheers?
My first cheers is just trying to figure out what beer I'm drinking. So my first cheers is, well, to you for getting these beers, going out to Colorado, not for the purpose of getting beers, but for getting married.
Yeah.
Which I will say on this one as well.
Only the third episode you brought it up on.
only. But cheers and thank you so much for grabbing these. It's been phenomenal.
My first cheers is going to go to Prost Brewing for just simply existing and making these absolutely delicious beers. So,
cheers.
Thank you.
Now, I did want to ask, did they strictly stick to these, or did they have any other kind of like variations?
Not that I noticed.
No, you noticed. Okay. All right. Well,
ready for the last cheers?
Yes. Let me drink some water here and then go for my favorite one, which is IPL. Don't you wish you had some more? Is that the IPL?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that is IPL. Okay. Well, cheers to all of our listeners. I'm going to get this right here. So we've got Apple, Google Podcasts. All right. We've got Spotify. We've got iHeartRadio. And we've got the other one that I'm going to fail to do, which is probably YouTube. Right?
We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.
Yeah, I said them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube I didn't know was included in there because I think it's also video.
I got you.
So.
No, I get you.
So let's do our little thing. Make sure you hit the little subscribe button. If you are on YouTube, hit it. All right, it's free. It doesn't take that much effort other than you moving your wrist over just to click the button, which is okay.
And you'll be notified whenever we upload a new episode. And also, if you're on Facebook, which I think 98% of the world is on, join the Pint Pals Podcast Facebook group.
98% of the world.
And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. So, all right.
That'll be it for this week's episode. So
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next episode. Cheers.
Hey everyone, it's Lucas from the Pint Pals Podcast. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok. We also have set up a Patreon if you feel like supporting the show in another way. Again, it is always appreciated but never expected. Let's get on with the show.